All right, real quick before we get into the burning questions, did you guys see the story about Lamar Wilkerson, the money that he gave back to Sam Houston State? I think
Yeah.
that this is one. I love the gesture, but I'm worried about how this is going to turn into something where this is
Guys are
what
expected.
the players are expected to do it, and this should not be something that falls on the players. I
It
love
should
that.
not at all. I don't think it should fall on the players because that puts an unfair expectation on other guys. The fact that he did that, all-time great move by Wilkerson. All-time great move. And that 100 grand is going to go a long way in
Mhm.
that league. It's going to go a long way. They're going to be able to probably get 2 extra players because of that. Um, like I good for him. I don't want that to be the expectation for players because $100,000. I know guys that are in college right now are kind of like $100,000. He's going to Indiana, or he's going to North Carolina, or he's going to Duke, or he's got like whoever's paying a lot of money right now, $100,000, whatever. I read a story the other day, but Norlander did a great story about how much these guys are getting paid and how there's going to be a huge market correction in this next recruiting cycle. $100,000 is a lot of money. And not only that, you want to talk about a head start for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
$100,000 is pretty good. So it should not be put on the players. If there's going to be some kind of buyout situation that the players sign, that's fine. That's a whole different thing. But good on him. Great Lamar Wilkerson story. But somebody who transfers up from arbitrary school UT Martin should not have to pay UT Martin back if they don't want to. So that I just to me, good on him
I
for
will
doing
say,
it. I do
Tio,
I do want the presidents to be like, hey, if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, like just don't even bother.
I will say that there are already, I've heard a couple stories of coaches reaching out to players that left their program and just sending
That's a
them a
shit
link to
move.
that
That's a
and
shit
saying,
move for
it would
that
be nice if
coach.
you did this too. He spent 9 months at this program. Coach is just looking for an extra thing to
That's a
their.
shit move, man.
I will
Well,
say this.
and on the flip side, the coaches are like, "Well, I helped you get there." Well, that player helps you keep your job.
I will say
So,
this. I will say
hey,
this.
let me say this: if a coach does that, and like we hear about it, I'll say that name.
Oh, I know. I told
I will fucking say that name. You
the
should not
agent
do that. He helped you keep your job. Don't do that.
the agent that I heard that from, I told him, if as soon as you get names, if you want to send me screenshots, I will put them on blast and I will put their
That's
name out there.
it's
That's
insanity.
a bad thing to do. I
Yeah.
will say this about the whole idea of giving that money back. I do think that there should be some kind of rule put in where when a player transfers up, you owe that school 10% of whatever the NIL package is. So let's just say, for example, a player gets $2 million to transfer from a mid major to a blue blood, right?
Mhm.
Well, that blue blood should have to pay $200,000 back to that mid major as something of a transfer fee, as something of a buyout. I think that's a way to be able to help make sure that some of these smaller schools still have the players and still have their best talent. Because I love seeing these guys get their payday. I love seeing them get that opportunity, but I do think that you are losing some of the charm of mid-major basketball when you do that. And frankly, those programs should be able to find some way to get financial rewarded for helping these guys develop. That's the way that it works in European soccer. That's the way that it works. I don't know if it works like that for European basketball, but I think
I
that
know
that
that's
is
a
the
big
way.
deal. I know that whole payback situation is a big deal in FIBA Europe too, with all these players coming over. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys have heard about this, but like
Yep.
there's a lot of teams that are pissed off because there's a rule in FIBA to where if they go for an education, they can go free of buyout, whatever. The problem with that is they're leaving their clubs to go collect $1 million and they don't have to pay their buyout to the clubs they've signed their contract with because they're technically going for school and the NIL payment is outside of that employment. So
Yep.
it's like there's a lot of messed up things right now.
Well,
Like
that's why you can get them for some of those European guys for a little bit cheaper than you would think. Because if you're taking, I mean, just to keep the numbers down, if you're taking $1 million and you don't have to pay this whatever $100,000, $200,000 as a buyout,
yeah,
then you can take a little bit of less money doing that, knowing that you're going to be able to to keep some of that in your pocket. So I just,
oh, dude, the agents too are just having a field day with this. I heard a wild number that one agent took 50% of what the player is going to make. A kid from Europe, 50%.
that is,
there's no regulation. It's a little bit scary. And some of these guys getting hosed.